Hi, I'm Jess.
And I'm Liz.
And this is Eish, That's Dark.
Let's get into it. Well, good evening to all our listeners. How are you doing, Jess?
Doing well. I'm slightly concerned. I got a bit caught off guard there.
Court of God. So hi everyone and welcome back. We are slightly unhinged because we're recording this at the end of a work day.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long.
We're tired.
We are tired. We have been adulting. We have been doing a lot of stuff. And I think that's why today's episode is going to be a little bit more chill, a little bit more laid back, and just strange overall.
Definitely. And I've had a really, really, really busy past week or two because I have studies and tests and work and life and everything.
Yeah, that's something I can never do. I don't know. How do you have a full-time job and you're still studying? To anyone who does that, I take my hat off to you. I don't know how you guys do it.
I cry myself to sleep every night.
Oh, thank goodness. But for anyone else who cries themselves to sleep at night, we're
here to distract you. We have more dark South African stories.
Exactly. So what are we going to be talking about today, Liz?
So this week, we're doing something a bit different, as we said. There's not going to be stories about murder, even though there'll be maybe stories about murdered people. But there's not going to be about court cases, not about sentencing. And I know, but don't panic, because we're doing something that I think is genuinely just as fascinating. And honestly, maybe more unsettling in some ways, because at least with a murder, you know what happened and you know who did it. Tonight, we're talking about ghosts.
Must topic. I love ghosts, but it needs to be said, I am a skeptic.
I'm also a huge skeptic, but I like listening to these stories because I never knew that we even had paranormal stuff in South Africa. So I'm I've never heard of this. So I'm I want to know more.
I want to know more, and I want to feel the goosebumps. And I feel like it worked out perfectly because we're recording this at night and we're going to tell ghost stories. We should have actually shut off the light in this room and just lit candles.
We should have. But then I think I would have been a bit scared. But luckily these ghosties we're talking about, well, like I said, maybe one or two of them are not nice, but most of these aren't bad ghosties.
Okay, no, we love
they're just stories, and it's very interesting and recounts of things and
okay.
Yeah. And
I'm
also
really excited.
I think we do need to plan a road trip on some of these areas because
I have been telling you forever.
I know you were telling me, and I was like, no, because I was like, these ghosts are going to be evil and they're going to try and I don't know,
attach themselves.
Yes, and I was like, I don't want to have evil ghosts that wake me up with evil things and freak me out.
The one that stands
ghosts
at the end of
or something. No, or old ladies, grey old ladies.
Oh, it's always the grey old ladies
with this
with the hair on their face, little.
See, that I'm scared of, but
no, it'll be fine.
Anyway. So we've got 4 stories tonight: a hitchhiker on the Kuru Highway, a haunted hotel in the middle of the desert, a Cape Dutch manor house in Hout Bay, and a ghost has been tidying strangers' hotel rooms in the KZN Midlands for over 100 years.
Ooh, I need that. Can I have a ghost maid, please?
You're right.
A ghost, it's someone in my house. I don't see them, but they tidy up after me, please. Okay, update. We went and got a candelabra and a candlestick, and we are sitting in this perfect mood lighting, about to read ghost stories. I am genuinely excited. I have chicken skin. I'm so excited.
I mean, it was cool to have the candles, but you did call it a candlestick, which makes it sound like we're just holding a candlestick.
Okay, well, you have the little candle sticky.
It's in a little candle holder. It's just one stick though. You've got 3.
Yeah, that's why I said a candelabra.
It is nice.
It's one where you would descend from a very dramatic staircase and be like, who's knocking at my door?
One of those long
flowy
Yes.
gowns. It's like, who's knocking at my door at midnight? It must be the doctor. Is my husband ill? Anyway, I'm getting off track. Let's go, Jess. I'm excited.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the Uniondale Hitchhiker first.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's in the Western Cape. Actually, a lot of these stories are in the Western Cape. And I'm starting to realize that the Western Cape in a whole seems quite haunted. Because you covered 2 stories of the Western Cape.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what's going on here? But anyway.
Cape, you got something to tell us, man?
Yeah, like, I mean, to be fair, they've got most of our history as
That
South
is
Africans.
true.
And
That
a lot
is
of the
true.
history is very
Yeah.
sad. And there's stuff that happens there. So I'm assuming maybe that's where it comes from.
That is true. All right.
Okay, so this story starts in 1968 with a woman named Maria Charlotte Roux. Everyone called her Ria, so that's what I'm going to be calling her.
Ooh, yeah.
She was born in Krugersdorp in 1946, and she was the second youngest of 4 kids. Her dad was a school principal in Riversdale, and her mom was a housewife. By all accounts, she had a completely normal and happy life. She was working as an administrative clerk in Pretoria when she met her fiancé. And because I'm very English, I'm going to ask Liz to please pronounce his name for him, and because I don't want to butcher it, but I will be calling him by his nickname.
And I love pronouncing Afrikaans names. And his name was Michiel Oberholzer.
And for his nickname was Hill. So he was a lieutenant in the Air Force. They got engaged and they were excited. And in April 1968, they were making the drive from Pretoria down to Riversdale to visit her parents and finalize their wedding plans together. So Rhea fell asleep in the back of their Volkswagen Beetle, but unfortunately, she never really had the chance to wake up.
Ooh, that's ominous.
It's really sad. This is a very sad part of the story. It was Good Friday, the 12th of April, 1968, and they were on the road about 19 kilometers outside Uniondale when a strong gust of wind catches the car. Hill loses control and the Beetle rolled. Rhea is flung from the vehicle and lands in a ditch beside the road, and she dies on impact. She's 22 years old, and Hill survives, but he's severely injured and disorientated, and in the dark you can't find her. A passing motorist eventually gets him to the hospital, and another motorist finds Rhea later that night.
That is 22 years old.
I know, and they're just going to get married. It's so sad. It's like you planning your future and your life with each other. And
It's so excited. It's Good Friday. It's Easter weekend. And then it all just abruptly ends by a gust of wind.
I mean, to be fair, the Beetle was a bit of a, in 1968.
Yeah, the Beatles. No, but I thought those cars were made like proper.
Okay, but it's Cape Town. Have you seen the winds that happen there sometimes?
That is true. And also we weren't there, so we can't really say.
Yeah.
Anyway, please continue.
So the first officer on the scene described finding a young woman with long, dark hair, wearing dark green trousers and a duffel coat, cause of death from head injuries. Those physical details, dark clothing, long dark hair, are going to matter a lot in a moment. Rhea was buried in Riversdale. Hill, who was completely shattered, ended up remarrying a year later. And then for 8 years, nothing unusual happened on that road until Easter 1976.
Okay, he moved on very quickly.
He did, okay? But also, it's 1968.
Yeah, let's not judge. I think it was like, listen, you don't have,
Seas of it all.
you need to take a wife. Yeah, it's the 60s.
The mother was probably like, where are my grandchildren? You know?
Yeah, it was like, you promised us we would have grandchildren. Shame. Sorry, Gil, wherever you are.
So is this Anton Lagrange or Anton Lagrange?
Anthony Lagrange. That's even worse. But I think you can call him Lagrange.
I'm going to say that.
All right.
Okay. So the first sighting was by Anthony Lagrange. Anthony Lagrange is driving home on the N9 one cold, wet evening on Easter 1976, heading from Willowmoor towards Oudtshoorn. At the Miranda's turnoff, he spots a young woman standing at the side of the road, very pale, dark coat, dark slacks, and long dark hair. He stops to offer her a lift. She gets in the back seat. He asks where she's going, and she answers. Number 2, Porter Street, Delanga. Also, that's just her name.
No, I don't like that. I do not like that.
He doesn't recognize the address, so he turns to ask her more about it. But she's gone. The back seat is completely empty.
Oh, I know the story, but I'm getting chicken skin. Like, the vibe is...
Imagine, because they actually like let them in their car, and then she's just gone.
That is the thing.
It's
Like,
not like...
he spoke to her and she gave him an intelligent response. And he was like, okay, this girl is very pale. But sure, that maybe it's cold. She's sick. Let's get her
I
out.
thought we were mistaken for a ghost. So could you though, because we're both really pale.
Oh, I am pale. I am sickly Victorian child pale. And that is one of my proudest moments in life.
Okay. So this poor man, he drives straight to the Uniondale police station and reports it to Constable Cornelius Potgieter. He was understandably skeptical, but agrees to drive back out to the spot with him. And this is where the story goes from man has a strange experience on a lonely road at night to something considerably harder to explain. Because our Potgieter is following the Granger's car in his patrol van, he watches the rear passenger door of the Granger's car open and close on its own.
No,
So she was in there just saying,
but
it wasn't just like open and close. It was a controlled, gentle opening and closing, as if, in the Granger's own words, someone got out and then shut the door behind them.
I am full of, I'm not even lying, like the goosebumps are behind my neck. I can feel them in my cheeks.
If this is giving you goosebumps, wait until the rest of these stories because they're wild.
This is so creepy. I love this.
When they stop, the lunchbox the Grange had placed on the front seat has moved to the back seat. Potgieter searches the car and finds no one. He later recalled, "Convinced there was something inside, I said. Can I help you? What is troubling you?" But there was no reply. That's when we beat it back to the police station. Back at the station, they show Lagrange a photograph of Maria Charlotte Rue, and he identifies her immediately. It was the same girl. There's no doubt about it. It frightened you so much. I've never been back since.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so a skeptical police officer, he was a skeptic himself, and he watched that door open and then close.
But what are you supposed to say when someone comes? Also, this is when the police was good in South Africa. Because if you went to any police station and told them the story, they would send you.
They would be like, okay, we'll write a report, we'll file it.
They wouldn't even write a report.
They would write on like a post-it note.
Who wouldn't be skeptic if someone comes to you and be like, all right, this woman got into my car and then she
vanished.
Like,
I think they would question you first, being like, okay, what did you do to her?
Yeah, like, did you make her vanish?
Like, was it you? No, but
I got goosebumps just thinking about how the story's going to end. Like, no, that's how you know. That's how I know you're going to get goosebumps.
But it's so insane. Like, what did this policeman think? Obviously, like, this isn't something he's used to.
Yeah, definitely not. Okay. So another sighting was on a motorcycle with Darby van Jaarsveld in 1978. 2 years later, Army Corporal Darby van Jaarsveld is riding his motorcycle along the N9 on Easter weekend.
Again?
Mm-hmm. When he sees a young woman at the Baranda's turnoff, pale, dark clothing, and long dark hair. He stops to offer her a ride. He gives her his spare helmet from his luggage rack. She climbs on the back, and he feels her arms wrap around his waist. A few kilometers down the road, her grip loosens. There's a small jolt, and when he reaches back, she's not there. He turns around immediately to look for her because he assumes she's fallen off, but there's no one on the road, no marks in the gravel, nothing.
This has never happened. I've heard this story a million times. I am full body chills.
What's crazy is the spare helmet was strapped neatly back on his luggage rack, exactly as it was before he offered it to her, as if it had never been touched.
I mean, you would assume his helmet fell off, like He was laying on the ground, or maybe he thought she placed it on her head, and then if he went back to where he picked her up, it would be laying there.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was like still strapped to his motorcycle, that is ridiculous.
She's like a light ghosty. She's like, thank you for taking me on a ride. Here's your helmet back. The fact that he felt her, like something around his hand. Not like warm, just like obviously a pressure. Yeah.
Okay, like he felt a pressure.
Yeah.
Because if it was like a cold pressure, I would completely understand that. But the fact that he felt
something.
Oh, guys, I am full on chills. It feels like my body is seizing up. That's how many chills I have.
The sightings of her continue through 1980. Another motorcyclist on the same stretch reports arm wrapping around his waist from behind and then being hit on the back of the head 3 times before whatever it is disappears.
That's rude.
Maybe she didn't like him. Maybe he did something.
Maybe she was like, oh, no, this man is being too friendly. She was like, bad man, bad,
going now. So the story spreads nationally and internationally. The National Enquirer in America runs a piece on it in 1978, and eventually a sculptor named Ian Visser creates a statue of Rhea based on the witness descriptions. Her hair and dress blowing in the wind, an apple in her hand, because some witnesses describe a faint smell of apples just before she vanished.
Gosh, we will have a photo of that because my dad, for his job, he drives around a lot. That's like doing a lot of those things. And they do go to the Cape quite often for his job. I'm not going to say stuff because I don't want to like dox myself. But he took a photo of the statue. And
That's so cool. I didn't even know that.
It's amazing. And I think
we need to post it.
I will definitely post that and I will give
and I want to post that as well. But yeah, as you can just assume the statue is still there and it's kind of eerie and scary, but that's very South African. But this is the part. I see you trying to read. Stop reading.
Okay, I'm going to listen to you.
So, in 1984, the sightings stopped completely. And that is because it was the same year that a fiancé, Giel, the man who was driving the night of the accident, died in another car accident.
No.
At least you got to stop saying that. I'm just like, what?
Another car accident.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he met the same fate.
Yes, and that's when her sighting stopped. The same year.
Okay, I have two things to say. That is creepy, first of all. Second of all, rude, because I wanted us to take a road trip on an Easter weekend to see.
We can do that with some of these other stories.
Okay, but I still feel like we're going an Easter weekend. We're going the N9 drive to Uniondale near Baranda's turnoff.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do that. That is so creepy. I've heard, like I said, the story a million times, but you reading it, it's insane.
So let's talk about the theories about what happened and just what people say about.
What kind of theories? It's pretty like,
well, you know, just set in
stone, black on white,
and that kind of stuff as well.
Okay, fair enough.
So the people of Uniondale believe that when Giel died in 1984, Rhea's ghost finally found what she had been looking for and stopped hitchhiking.
What if she was waiting for him?
Maybe. Others say that because she was asleep when she died, she never knew she was dead at all and was simply still trying to get to Riversdale. Her brother Frans told News 24 in 2006 that the family believes there has never been a ghost and that Rhea would never have got on a motorcycle. She was, in his words, too conservative for that. The family has asked repeatedly for people to leave the sister's memory in peace.
Aww. Now I feel bad.
I feel like it's one of those things where, you know, people can take it too far and come up with stories that are nice and stuff.
Yeah. Like, obviously some people would have said, okay, we saw her for clout or something like that. But, you know, I think I've never heard a bad story about the ghost of Kronendal.
She's never been... I've never
heard her being malicious or something like that. So I think, all fairness to the family, I think that her memory, like she has a statue. Yeah. So I think her memory is preserved. And
yes. And this is, you know, we telling a story not at all to, you know, go against their wishes. It's just, you know, it is a history in South Africa. And I think it's important to talk about the people who died in South Africa in like the most respectful way, you know.
Yeah.
She was a person here and I'm so sad that she died when she was 22 because that's hard.
22 and sleeping. You know, that's probably the best
that's
way
very scary.
That's terrifying. Like, that's also why I don't fall asleep in cars on long drives with people I don't fully trust. It's like, that's a weird thing that I just confessed to. But anyway.
She trusted him though. He was her fiancé. So she was the wind. Okay.
Right.
Now we're moving on to the second story. The Lord Milner Hotel, also in the Western Cape.
Heck yeah, we keep
I'm like gesturing with my gummy snake.
Yes. Like, full transparency, we are eating gummy snakes.
Yes.
And I have a packet of speckled eggs in front of me. We have not opened that yet, but I want to open it.
I see you eyeing them and I'm like, I'm on that's talking. You can't eat those without me.
How? I won't eat them. They're like sitting right here. And I'm just
I see that. I didn't see that.
Okay.
So, a town stuck in time. So if you're driving on N1 from Cape Town towards Johannesburg, there's a turnoff into the Great Karoo.
Which I can't say properly. It's the Karoo.
You're just Afrikaans, so you say it differently.
Yeah.
And if you take it, you'll find Matjiesfontein, One main road, completely intact, Victorian architecture, a train station that looks like it hasn't changed since the 1890s, and the Lord Milner Hotel sitting right in the middle of it all, looking like the set of a period drama. The whole town operates as if time simply decided not to bother with it.
Oh, that sounds like a dream.
Right?
Just take a step back in time.
The man who built it was a Scottish immigrant named James Douglas Logan, who arrived in Cape Town in 1877, at 19 years old with essentially nothing. Worked his way up through the railway industry, and eventually bought land in the Karoo because the dry air was apparently helping his tuberculosis.
Like, when you said he was 19 years old, I thought this man came at 19 years old and he was like, I'm going to build a hotel. But then you were like, oh no, he worked in the railway. Yeah. He worked his way up. Like, okay, that makes more sense.
He turned it into a fashionable Victorian health resort, brought London lampposts in to light the main street, named the hotel after the governor of the Cape Colony, and it attracted people like Cecil John Rhodes, Lord Randolph Churchill, that's Winsor's father,
damn,
Rudyard Kipling, and Olive Schreiner.
I've heard of some of those names.
He was an author, just by the way. South African author. The last one.
Olive Schreiner.
Yes, I said it wrong, I think.
I don't know. It could be Schreiner, it could be Schreiner.
Anyway, he was there.
Okay, author.
And actually lived in a cottage there for years. In 1892, Logan personally funded the English cricket team tour of South Africa. And the first international cricket match in the Western Cape was played right there in Matjiesfontein, which is remarkable for a town that is essentially one road in the middle of nowhere.
Oh my goodness, he was loaded.
He had it all going for him. Imagine being 19. Do you remember how old you? I was supposed to say, do you remember how old you were? Do you remember how little you knew at 19? And this kid
at 19, you still
was on a boat from Scotland to South Africa at 19,
looking for a better life.
And imagine how scary that is, because a lot of ships.
Did they make it?
Yes.
And we did talk about how treacherous.
I wonder if he saw any ghosty ships.
Did he see the flying? Maybe he didn't, and that's why he was so successful, because the people who saw the Flying Dutchman, like, their lives got ruined. So, gosh. Okay, we digress.
So then in 1899, everything changed when the Anglo-Boer War broke out. So during the war years, the hotel was converted from luxury health spa to British military hospital almost overnight.
That happens a lot in history, especially in America, like with the civil wars and stuff. Hotels or speakeasies, mansions, like farms, like those locations got turned, churches got turned into little hospals or housing for wounded soldiers.
And I've never really heard much about it in South Africa. I was like, oh yeah, in America they did it a lot, and now we're talking about it in South Africa because our schools don't teach us enough.
No.
So anyway, more than 10,000 soldiers and 20,000 horses were camped in the fields around the town.
Wow.
The turret on the hotel became a military lookout, and the rooms and corridors that had been full of wealthy visitors with chest complaints were now full of wounded and sick British soldiers who were very far from home.
Gosh.
More than 200 of them were estimated to have died there, mostly from typhoid and dysentery rather than battle wounds, which is somehow worse. And their bodies were buried in the surrounding Karoo. Logan himself died in Matjiesfontein in 1920, having spent most of his life there.
That is a lot of death and tragedy for one area.
A lot of trauma, negative energy, all the bad stuff.
Yes.
So given all that, it would be a weirder if it wasn't haunted.
Actually, yeah, if it wasn't haunted,
First of all, it's like a Victorian mansion.
It's Victorian mansion.
First of all.
It was filled with battle-worn soldiers. They died there because of, dysentery is a horrible death. And typhoid, no. So it's insane how it was changed from this luxurious Victorian hotel, and then all of a sudden it's just like dead bodies lying around. People obviously dying. You have to get the bodies out as soon as possible. And it just turned into this horrific, depressing scene,
Okay, well, do you want to meet the residents of the hotel? And I'm not talking about the physical people.
The permanent residents?
Yes.
Yes, please.
So this is where it gets interesting, because the Lord Milner doesn't just have one ghost. It has an entire roster, and the hotel staff know each one of them by name.
Oh, that's cute.
The one they talk about most is Kate. Rona Smith, who was a general manager of the hotel, described her in an interview with The Citizen. The lady on the stairs is Kate, a young nurse who used to play cards with the convalescing officers in the room at the top of the tower. Kate was only 19 when she died in very mysterious circumstances. No cause of death has ever been established from any formal record. She was 19, she was in a building full of dying men, and then she died too, and no one wrote down why.
There's a reason why no one wrote down why, because she was killed.
Very suspicious.
That is very suspicious.
But it also confused me because I'm like, if she was murdered, then would she still be wanting to play cards on the stairs?
So I think sometimes
it's on the stairs that she's not playing cards, she's saying he's still.
So I think in some cases, depending on how you were killed, if it was very traumatic, you either get stuck in that time loop or you get stuck into the habit that you did most.
Okay.
So I think maybe she got stuck in the good habit, like but also patrolling and playing cards.
Yeah, I've also heard that some ghosts like to go to a place that made them feel good when they were alive. So
maybe she was really happy there, and
she's just like, I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah, and then just one unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah. So if you go to the Lord Milner today, there's a steep little staircase on the second floor landing that leads up to a door with a plaque on it that reads Kate's Card Room. It's the room in the turret that was used as a military lookout during the war, and it's furnished with a writing desk and an octagonal wooden table and chairs. Guests and staff have reported hearing cards being shuffled in that room when it's empty, along with muffled voices and faint laughter. Kate herself has reportedly been seen descending the main red staircase in the early hours of the morning. One of the hotel's resident cats reportedly sleeps at the foot of that staircase every single night, which I find either very comforting or very alarming, depending on the day.
I would find that comforting.
I would also find it very comforting. Like, unless it's like in the middle of the night and it's like, okay, he's just playing with a ghost, and I'd be like, that's weird. But animals see things that people don't.
Exactly.
I stand by that. So,
and I've loved the fact that they say like animals that have the heterochromia, so two different colored eyes.
Yes.
The lighter one, they say, always sees the dead, and the darker one sees the living world.
That's very cool.
That's like a fact. Like, well, not a fact, a myth.
It's science.
It's science? No, just
it's
a myth that I really love.
That sounds really cool, yeah. So then there's Mary Ann, also named Bawona Smith. She's the one who rattles doorknobs, especially that of room 26.
I know where we're staying when we go there.
It's apparently how old she was when she died of disease during the Anglo-Boer War. So Mary Ann was 26. She died in the hotel during the war years, and she has apparently spent the intervening century rattling the handle of room 26.
Does she have nothing better to do? Does she just walk up and down and then she goes to room 26 and she's like, I don't like you?
No, it's like, I'm 26. It's like,
I'm 26.
So she communicate with us again.
I'm sorry, Marianne, but that is very funny.
You know, like Copo's house.
Sorry. All right, deep breath. Let's continue. Okay. Got the sillies up.
Okay. So Lucy is the one guests see floating through the first floor passages wearing a white negligee. She doesn't interact with anyone. She just drifts through as if she's on her way somewhere. The hotel staff also link Lucy to sounds that come from one of the rooms. Raised voices, the sound of an argument, and then glass shattering. And when they go to investigate, the room is always completely undisturbed.
Oh, that's creepy. I love that though. Why is she floating?
If I had to be a ghost, I wouldn't be floating.
That is true. But also, there's nothing more terrifying than hearing footsteps in the dark.
Or like creaky stairs.
I love that.
I've never heard it, but I imagine I would.
Oh my gosh, I'm imagining it now and now I'm getting the goosies. Okay.
James Logan himself is said to still inhabit the elegant lounges at the back of the hotel, which is honestly very on brand for a man who spent 40 years building that place. And then there are the soldiers. Multiple guests have reported seeing men in period British Army uniform on the main staircase or waiting on the train platform outside, watching for trains that never came to take them home.
Oof.
Which is very sad, actually.
There's a lot of ghosts.
There is. This is literally what's a haunted house? This is literally it.
It is a hub. Like everyone gathers there.
Yes.
But I think the British soldiers, if you saw them,
Yes.
That
You
would be
can't
terrifying.
mistake that. It's not
Yeah.
like you see a woman, and you can be like, oh, maybe there's just a woman in the passage.
Yeah, maybe that
someone
was just-
that's literally in the uniform, you'd be like,
yeah, you'd be
that
like,
is out of place.
yeah, I don't think the man wearing the Ed Hardy shirt with a really bad tattoo on his arm is a British soldier. You know, it's kind of that vibe.
Okay. And then there's the tunny. This is one that I love. Johnny, who has been the hotel's resident entertainer for years, had a photograph taken with 2 young girl visitors. One of the girls pointed at something in the photograph and asked who the tunny was. Nobody else could see anyone. When the photograph was developed and sent back to the family, there was a woman clearly visible in it, who had not been there when the picture was taken. The hotel thinks it might be the ghost of Olive Shayner. The photo is kept in a small chest in the hotel lounge.
That is terrifying. Because also you say when the photos were developed.
Yeah.
So you taking photos there, lovely family vacation. We're staying at the Milner Hotel. You take your photos. For the young people here, you took your photos in the little cartridge that could not see the sun. Otherwise, your photos would be ruined, and you would get them developed. And you wait, what, like a week, 2 weeks? It might have been longer back then, but then they were developed, and then you're like, who's this? Dead, photobomb me. It's not instant. And now you're like, who is this old lady that just jumped into... That is terrifying. Oh, I'm terrified, but I love it so much.
Okay. The most recent account that gets talked about involves a security guard who was working a night shift at the hotel. A woman came downstairs to complain about noise from the room next to hers, and she had a child with her. The guard was immediately unsettled because children were not permitted to stay at the hotel at that point. There should have not been a child in the building. He went to investigate. There was no noise, and there was no guest with a child on any of the registers. Nobody had checked in with the child. That security guard has refused to work night shifts at the Lord Milner Hotel ever since. His entire job is to be there at night, and he won't do it.
Oh, I got chills. But road trip,
Right?
we are definitely
If you
going
want to
there.
see something, you should go to this place.
Like, we need to set a date when we are going there. I am not even joking. I am going to buy all of the ghost equipment from Temu. Well, I don't
It's
know.
not going to work.
It's probably not going to work. Amazon, maybe?
Take a lot.
I doubt. Take a lot. Take a lot. Do you have ghost hunting equipment? If yes, please comment. But no, we need to get like some ghost hunting equipment. Even if they don't work, then we can be like, well, this is nonsense. But we still have our own eyes and our minds and cameras.
But apparently, none of these ghost stories that I told you, no one saw them with equipment. They were just like, oh, this person's jiggling the door handle. This person's walking in the...
That's the thing.
In the passage.
So technically, all we need is a voice recorder and a Polaroid camera.
Yes. Okay, let's move on to story 3. Woo! The Spirit of Love at Kronendal, also in Cape Town.
Well. If we aren't back. I mean, it's like we never left.
We have never left.
We've never left.
Been here. We're staying here. Okay, the last story is not in Cape Town, but anyway.
Okay.
So if you're driving from Cape Town through Constantia Neck toward Hout Bay, you pass a white Cape Dutch manor house on the main road. Gabled, green-shuttered, sitting very close to the tarmac. And it's the kind of building that makes you do a double take because it looks like it belongs to a different century.
Ooh.
This is the Kronendal, the oldest farm in Hout Bay, with roots going back to the 1670s.
That is old.
The current gabled homestead was enlarged in 1800. The date is still on the front gable, and it's one of the best surviving examples of Cape Dutch H-plan architecture in the Cape Peninsula. My eyes are going funny because of the candles and the light on my iPad.
I lowered the light on mine.
It's a declared national monument, and it has had many different lives since then. Most recently as a motorcycle store and cafe. But the ghost follows the building regardless of what's happening inside it.
Ooh.
Elsa and the Soldier.
Okay, I'm sorry. That sounds like a horrible Disney spin-off of Frozen.
I mean, Hans was a soldier, was he not? No, he was a
No,
prince.
he was-
But he wore soldier uniform because apparently princes can be soldiers too. Apparently princes can be soldiers.
I don't know why, but that came off as so aggressive.
No, but it annoys me though because people who actually are in the army or whatever and they
Yeah.
actually worked their way up and like went through the most of it to get to where they are, they're proper soldiers and then like a prince.
But yeah, also the royals there, I go through the same thing. Don't look at me like that.
They don't have to go through the same thing. Like,
Sometimes they do. It's mandatory service.
yeah, but they won't send them to the most dangerous places because they're royal.
Of course not.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but we don't know. This is based.
This is
not based of historical research.
No,
because we don't know.
This is just us arguing.
Yeah, this is us having a little petty fight. Anyway, we're done.
So, the story is set in the 1840s when the farm was owned by the
Klute.
thank you family. The owner, Daniel,
Klute.
was a man of considerable standing in the Cape Colony, and his daughter, Elsa, fell in love with a British soldier stationed at the garrison in Hout Bay. Her father absolutely refused to allow the relationship. Elsa was Dutch, the soldier was British, and the political relationship between Afrikaner and British communities in the Cape at that time was already deeply complicated. The same tensions that would eventually erupt into the Anglo-Boer War were quietly simmering decades earlier. So beyond whatever personal objections her father had, there was also a whole political dimension to his refusal.
And that's not something that you take into consideration when you're in love.
No.
So by all accounts, for her father was being completely ridiculous and irrational.
How could you?
And he's like, my girl, you're going to start a war.
You're going to be the reason for this whole app.
Please don't do this.
Okay. So the soldier was banned from the property entirely. The closest the two of them could get to each other was at secret meetings through the front gable windows of the homestead, him standing under the oak trees in the avenue across the road, watching her from the window, or at the window. That was the full extent of what they were allowed. The oak trees across the road from Kronendal are still there today. You can drive past them right now. Eventually, the soldier couldn't bear it anymore, and he hanged himself from one of those trees.
Oh my goodness. That went really dark very quickly. I mean, you could still see her from afar. You could still like just be in the glory of the beauty that woman elicits. And then you were like,
And then he hanged
I'm out.
himself. Yeah. Also, I'm going to quote Twilight here, but sometimes you have to love the things that are good for you.
I genuinely don't know how to react because I loved Twilight as a teenager.
So did I.
And I'm like, is that true though?
It is true because you need to learn to love what's good for you, because if you love a person that's clearly bad for you, you need to learn to
Then you're not going to know
what's good for you
good for you.
and fall in love with what's good for you.
It's like you have to go through a few garbage cans before you find.
Yeah, and learn
garbage
to love.
prince.
What's good? You used to call it the garbage prince.
I had no.
Also, they're not married.
I had no other analogy for the betterment of a garbage can.
If anyone's looking for a fabulous, spunky woman,
This is looking. Yes, that's a secret. Please continue with the story. My desperation is reeking.
okay. Elsa died shortly after what every account describes as a broken heart. She simply didn't survive the grief. She never got to be old. She never got the life she wanted. And she died in the homestead looking out at trees she would never stand under with the person she loved.
No, that is sad.
It's really sad. This is like probably one of the saddest story.
It is so sad, but also there is documented proof of dying from a broken heart.
There is.
I'm not exactly sure what it is called.
But also, as people say, but like, it's not really.
It's not really like your heart split into two.
No. What I'm saying is that this isn't well documented. So it's also like people say that's what happened. But, people died of a lot of things back in the day. But I'm not saying she didn't die of a broken heart either. But,
it could not have been the only contributing factor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So what people have seen. Since the 1970s, there have been at least 5 documented sightings of Elsa's ghost reported in local newspapers and magazines, and the pattern is very consistent. On moonlit nights, a figure is seen standing at the main gable window staring across the road towards the oak trees. She's been seen inside the building in various rooms wearing an old-fashioned blue dress, and the people report seeing the outline of a man standing among the oak trees opposite, facing the house, just standing there looking back. Staff at the restaurant that operated in Kronendal for years reported pots flying off of wall hooks in the kitchen, lights dimming without explanation, objects moving overnight, none of it violent, none of it threatening, just the particular restlessness of a building that hasn't finished with its past.
Oh my goodness. Like, first you paint this beautiful picture of seeing two shadow figures staring lovingly at each other from, like,
But they're ghosts,
meters
can't they
away.
meet each other?
No, they're trapped in a loop.
Oh, that's so sad.
If he was blocked from her in life, he is blocked from her.
That is so sad. Now I'm sad. I thought they could go and like have fun personal lives together.
No, it depends. Like, I know you see all of these like people like mediums or paranormal experts, and they go and like, I release you from this house and you may go wherever you want. I don't know how much I truly believe in that, but
it also makes sense because have you heard of stories where like a house is renovated and then like they put like double story and then like the ghost or whatever, the
spirits
entity
of the house
cuts in half and they'll see like the legs dangling from the ceiling because the person was
okay,
there.
that went in a completely different direction.
Seriously,
I
but
thought
like
you were
they'll
gonna-
just see like legs from like the ceiling or something because the entity is there and like they want to be there or they're stuck there, and then like there was a renovation to the house, so like people only see the bottom top
That is
half of a body.
horrible. I thought you were going to say the spirits are upset, so they're making a ruckus.
No, but they do that too.
No, they do that, but now I have chills for a different reason, but oh gosh, that is terrifying.
Okay, so let's talk about another sighting. The one I found most compelling because the witness genuinely had no idea what he was looking at. In December 1999, a restaurant was operating inside the building, and the owners had taken to reserving a table especially for Elsa, laid with food and a candle, not offered to other diners. On the 15th of December, an English architect on holiday with his wife noticed a woman sitting at that table. She was wearing a blue top, a grey pinafore, and a bonnet. He pointed her out to his wife and said, "What a funny hat that woman is wearing," which is rude.
Yeah, that's
Very rude. And why would you say that?
like as an architect, a grown man, and you're like,
That's a funny
oh,
hat.
word.
Funny hat.
Junie, just look at that lady's funny hat. Thank goodness you're not wearing that.
Also, men don't pay enough attention to details, but maybe they're different back in the day.
No, but see, he was like, that's weird, so I have to pay attention to detail.
I can. He watched her sit there for a moment and then get up and walk towards the scullery. Later, he asked the restaurant's PR officer about the woman in the old-fashioned clothes, assuming she was a staff member in the costume. The officer said, "We all thought he was joking about seeing her and asked him how much he had to drink, but his amazement was too real to be faked. He genuinely thought it was a charming period costume thing the restaurant was doing for atmosphere. It was not." The reserved table at Kronendal is still a tradition. Wherever that building goes next, Elsa's table goes with it. That's actually so cute though. They're like, "Here's a table for you." Said it
Very cute. That is very considerate because, I mean, she was there before all of them. The least they could do is set her a table and be like, you are welcome here. You are free to roam the halls and the grounds.
Mutual respect.
Mutual
We
respect.
don't have our guests.
Have a snack.
We give you food.
We give you food. Have you tried garlic bread? It's amazing.
Okay.
Wow.
This is the next story. And I must say, this is my favorite story. I'm excited to read this because I want to go here. I want to go here because I travel on this road fairly often because my family is in KZN. So
Okay.
I know this road and I'm like, I want to stop here the next time I go there.
Okay. So the next time I'm going with.
Yes. So this is about Charlotte of the Nottingham Road Hotel.
Why
In
does it
KZN
sound-
Midlands?
It sounds so British.
It does. Charlotte of the Nottingham Road Hotel in British colony.
Yeah, screw Charlotte's Web. It's Charlotte of the Nottingham Road Hotel.
Okay. So in KwaZulu-Natal, Midlands, there's a town called Nottingham Road, which doesn't make sense because it's Nottingham Road, but it is a town, yes. I did.
There's so many other weird
weird.
places.
So why is it a road but a town? Anyway. And the hotel at the center of it, the Nottingham Road Hotel, known to generations of KZN people as Notties, has
Why do that? It's Nottingham Road Hotel is so elegant.
It is, but I can confirm though, because even my family who live in KZN call it Notties. I don't call it Nottingham Road.
Okay, but now the name is starting to grow on me. I was
Notties.
judgmental way too soon. I apologize.
Anyway, it has been there since the 1890s. Legend has it that there was an inn or tavern on the site as far back as 1854, serving soldiers stationed at nearby Fort Nottingham. But the actual building we know today was erected by a man named George Orwin. after he bought the land in 1889. He called it the Railway Hotel, built to serve the new railway station. It has the oldest pub in the KZN Midlands. It's been a stop for soldiers, travellers, rail passengers, and comrade runners ever since. And it is the home to one of the most beloved ghost stories in South Africa.
Do I know this ghost story?
I don't know, I didn't know it, but I'm excited about it because I want to go.
Okay, no, you go ahead, please.
So let's talk about who Charlotte was, or who might have been. The honest answer is that nobody is entirely sure who she is, because no formal death record for Charlotte has ever been found, and the hotel's own written history actually acknowledges this directly. What they say is that she was a lady of loose morals or a chambermaid, depending on the source of the tale.
So she was a lady of the night.
Potentially. So right from the start, every version of the story is slightly different, and the hotel has just fully accepted that and moved on. What the accounts agree on is that Charlotte was at the Nottingham Road Hotel around the turn of the century, during the Anglo-Boer War period, when the hotel was a popular stop for British soldiers. She was reportedly beautiful. She fell in love with a British officer.
Which we know is a bad thing.
I mean, there's already
Well, we
story
also
about
don't
it.
know, is Charlotte Dutch? We don't know that.
I don't know, there's not much reports about who she actually was, I guess. There's only rumors.
Okay, but also she was allegedly a lady of the night, so I don't
Or
think
she was a
anyone-
chambermaid. A chambermaid is like a
Yeah, they would be.
servant.
Yeah. So they would cater to people and do room service
Yeah.
and things. So no one would care either way.
Yeah.
Okay.
But her soldier was unfortunately killed on the battlefield at Ladysmith. And when she heard of the news, she threw herself from the second floor balcony outside room 10, which was her room, and died of the injuries from the fall. The year is generally estimated at around 1902.
That is a very dramatic way to react to the news of a loved one passing. Actually, no, that's very insensitive of me to say. Let me change it, because back in the day, like, love and marriage were the only prospects you had.
Yeah, especially
As a woman.
Yeah.
As a woman, it's like you have
And
to get married.
especially if you were someone that was, I want to say lower class, if she was a chambermaid, then
that
she
was her
had
only way
more
out.
prospects anyway.
Yeah, so that was her only way out of living like a possibly
Yeah.
better life, going to Britain or whatever. So I can understand her throwing herself from the balcony because her lover died.
But there's also a version where she was murdered. There's a version where she was beaten and thrown over the balcony by a client who refused to pay.
Ooh.
The hotel's official history text actually says, or she was pushed, ?
Ooh.
And then just leaves the question there, which I think is one of the most perfect pieces of hotel copywriting I've ever encountered.
That's that. So does it say on their website in quotation marks, or she was pushed?
Yes.
That is okay. That's enticing. Guess it's like, come to our hotel.
See if she was pushed.
Do you want to know if she was pushed? We don't
Okay.
know either.
So do you want to know what Charlotte gets up to?
Yes, please.
Charlotte is, across every account, a gentle and domestic ghost who seems to have appointed herself the permanent housekeeper of room 10. Guests who stay there come back to find their bags have been unpacked for them, their clothes folded and neatly arranged, their bedding straightened. She moves flower arrangements to positions she finds more aesthetically pleasing. She moves mirrors around, and this is my favorite detail, reportedly in order to show herself off to her best advantage. She's like, I'm with this mirror just to show myself
A
off.
lady of the night is not going to pack your clothes for you. So no, I think she was definitely a chambermaid, and she's
She's very sweet. I hope she wasn't murdered. I mean, she probably was, but it's really sad. So she takes pictures off the walls and lays them face down on the floor.
That's a bit creepy.
It is. She turns taps on and off through the night.
That's
She's
annoying.
been heard having lengthy conversations with someone who isn't there.
That is rude. Charlotte, we were just complimenting you. And now you are literally annoying people when they sleep.
Okay, but if people go, that's room 10. So if they want to go and like experience this, they just go to room 10. If they don't, go to another room.
We're going to room 10.
I know. I'm just saying. Don't say to
I'm
room
sorry,
if you
your
choose it.
husband can sleep in a different room.
We are staying in room 10.
In room 10, and we are staying up, or at least one of us stays up so one of us can experience something.
Yes.
I volunteer.
Please do. Anyway, she rings the bell for room service to room 22. But there is no room 22, and there never has been a room 22 in any floor plan the Nottingham Road Hotel has ever had.
That is weird.
But she rings it anyway, consistently and cheerfully. as if she simply cannot understand why no one is bringing her anything.
Oh,
She's like, where's my food, guys?
like, hello, I'm in room 22. And the people are just like, oh my goodness, Charlotte, we've told you a million times.
This room doesn't exist.
There's no room 22.
So, hotel owner Clive Foss told the journalist, she is totally harmless and we think she likes it here. It's a family hotel with traditional values and our customers think she adds a homey quality to this place. Spiritualists have reported seeing her. Children at the hotel have apparently chatted to the nice lady without being told anything about her. Some guests have caught her in photographs without realizing it, and only found out when they reviewed the images later.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
As creepy. You know what? When we go, we should take like trigger items. So definitely take one of those little standing mirrors that adjusts.
Yeah.
And some flowers
Yeah.
in a vase.
So she can change the mirror and
then we can see if she like moves
we
the
can
mirror.
like leave poorly arranged flowers and see if she makes them pretty.
Yeah, and I will leave my socks on the floor and see if they picked up.
Okay. So this is where it gets a little bit spooky.
Yes.
So the investigation and the one they don't talk about. In 2007, the American paranormal TV show Ghost Hunters International
Okay, thank goodness.
came to the Nottingham Road Hotel and investigated. And their conclusion was that there are more than one entity in the building.
Oh,
Charlotte is there, yes, but she is not alone.
that gave me chills.
The hotel owner confirmed in an SABC interview in 2024 that there is a second presence, a male ghost. And this one is considerably less friendly than Charlotte.
Oh, chicken skin, but also that's quite recent.
After that interview went viral on TikTok, a user commented, "There's a male ghost there too they don't talk about. That's not so friendly. I got pulled off a bed there in the middle of the night," which is a very different experience from having your clothes neatly folded.
Yeah, you know what? You can stay up.
You already volunteered.
No, actually, I still volunteer.
But if I fall asleep, I might get pulled off the bed.
That's the thing. It's the sleeping unsuspected people that get pulled.
Imagine just sleeping and someone yanks you off the bed. That's terrifying.
No, that brings.
And it's such different experience. You're either there and this little Charlotte, she's there, like cleaning your room, organizing your flowers, or you get pulled off the bed. There's no in between.
Either you get the nice, tidy ghost, or you get the one who yanks. And I do not want to get yanked.
Neither do I. Okay, so what is Charlotte waiting for? A journalist who spent a night in room 10 for The Witness described it well. Charlotte would have stood on that balcony watching the railway station below, waiting for each steam train to pull in, scanning the passengers for her soldier. And a friend came instead, with news she couldn't survive. Maybe she went over the railing, maybe someone put her there. Either way, she's been in that hotel ever since, keeping house, rearranging flowers, ringing the bell for a room that doesn't exist, and waiting for someone who is never going to walk through that door.
No. That is... Oh, poor Charlotte.
Yeah, that's really sad, but at least she's a nice ghost.
Maybe, you know what, maybe
She brings
in
joy to
her...
other people now.
I think in a ghost life, maybe she has forgotten about her soldier and she's just doing what she's doing every day.
At the beginning of this conversation, I said that we need to go on a road trip, but I'm more convinced now than ever that we really should.
Yes,
We need to go
I have been trying to convince you and you have no
But
lip.
I don't want to get yanked off the bed. That's the ghost I'm scared of.
That's fine. We
And
will
I'm more intrigued about male
we will
ghosts.
handcuff you to the bedpost so that when you get yanked, you don't get
Get
yanked.
handcuffs?
No. I mean, it's not that difficult to get handcuffs.
Fair enough. Okay. So we did go through the N9 through Uniondale, a night at the Lord Milner in Matjiesfontein, a drive past the oak trees in Hout Bay, and then room 10 at Notties. That is the itinerary.
Oh, that is... You've got it all planned.
It is
You've got
a
it.
proper South African ghost tour, and we are going to do it, and we are going to record, and we are going to...
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And we could have... We're not that famous yet. We will try to have lives for those who are interested on TikTok.
Yeah.
We can just start streaming.
Yeah, I'll be like, look, there's a woman.
It's like, and we are here. Like, hi, MTV Cribs. Welcome to my crib. We can just do something random. I don't know. But I want to do this. I'm already beyond excited. I'm going to look at how much it is to stay at these places. And we'll ask them, listen, can we just walk around, take some videos, just do stuff? Because obviously you get people here for one reason. It's because you're haunted.
Yeah.
Please let us
Just own it. That's pretty much it. You can find us on all the social media platforms at Eish That's Dark, and you can email us at aishthat'sdark@gmail.com. You can send us your stories. You can tell us your personal stories. You can
If you have a ghost story, please tell us.
Please send us any listener tales you might want us to read, because we want to read stuff.
Or if you just want to say hi, you know what?
Yeah,
Send us a
that'd be
DM.
great. Send us an email, send us a DM on Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah. You can reach us in a few
You can't DM us on YouTube, but you can comment on our YouTube video. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that would be it.
Yeah.
You mentioned everything that we usually mention at the end.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, the victims, they're very old, so this episode is not very victim-centered. Whoops. But
yeah, I think it's history that we should all know, and it was just a bit of a different episode.
very different. And
But I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
I loved
I've never known any of these tales, so
No. The only thing that I knew was the ghost of Uniondale. That was it.
not the others. But
Not
now
the
you know,
others.
and now you guys know. And any recommendations? Yes, please send those as well.
Yes, any recommendations that we should visit? We definitely are going to go to the Ghost Bridge in Heidelberg, which I still think I'm very skeptical about that one.
I've never heard of that. What is it?
So I'm not sure, like, okay, so it is near Heidelberg, but the bridge is literally called, like, there's the plaque on it called Spookbrug, Ghost Bridge. And it looks like it slopes downwards. And they say if you stop your car in the middle of that bridge and you put it in neutral,
Does it go up?
it goes up the hill.
We need to add that to our
So that gets
ghost trip.
Yeah, that would be like the very first stop. And
Yes.
people would probably have to do it at night, which is very dangerous if you stop
Yeah, that's
hard
true.
dead and you have to turn off your lights.
That's
So
scary.
we'll have to
One of us
about
might be at the entrance of the thing and be like,
Yeah.
no one come through.
think about the logistics, maybe we'll
Yeah.
hire a security team. But
Later down the line, but we need to do it one day.
we need to do it one day. But yeah, please send us any recommendations
Yes.
of places to visit.
Yeah. And that's us for today.
So stay safe and stay skeptical.
And maybe don't ring the bell for room 22, which doesn't exist.
Yeah, you're going to be very disappointed. Well, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.